Welcome back to the Roadside Rescue YouTube channel. I'm Ernest, and today we're in the doggy bus. I'm going to be doing some more videos, kind of sitting down talking about things. I don't want them to get super boring or long, just to spread awareness and talk about things that I think I can share with other people. Recently, my channel was hijacked and removed from YouTube. That was pretty stressful, and when that happened, my biggest regret was not having done more of these videos. These are the videos I started doing on the channel when I originally got monetized. The very beginning of my channel, I was doing videos like this, and there will still be plenty of roadside rescue videos. I know that's a lot of people's favorite. That's my favorite too. I like getting out and working on vehicles, but I think there's a lot of things that we can discuss in a video like this. And so we're in the doggy bus. If you haven't seen it, I fixed this up in previous episodes. It's a small city bus style bus that I turned into an RV basically. So the setup's pretty cool. I've actually got the TV going over here. I think Fast and Furious is on. You can see there, so I can sit here, charge my devices up there. This bus has 2 alternators and a power bank. So this setup works pretty well. And today I'm going to be talking about, I'll be doing a different video, and it's not for views, about how my YouTube channel got hijacked and how you can prevent that. The easiest way to get it hijacked is to not have 2-step verification. I did have that. So I had a lot of security measures in place, and I still got my channel hijacked. So I'm going to talk about how not to get your channel hijacked if you have a YouTube channel or you think about having one, and how to recover it if it does get hijacked. And luckily, and I know it's not because of what I did, but luckily I was able to have it recovered in about 3 days. So it wasn't, so I've heard stories of people having them for 3-4 weeks before they get them recovered. But anyways, that's for a different video. Today we're going to be talking about how not to get scammed. So a lot of people look for cars online. Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace are the best places. Out here in Utah, there's a place called KSL, which is kind of like Craigslist. And I don't use Craigslist anymore, but I know a lot of people do. It seems to kind of be, for lack of better terms, old-fashioned. Like, people who were around buying cars on the internet when it first came around seem to be the ones who were on Craigslist. And a lot of people are selling their vehicles on Facebook now. So I find a lot more variety of vehicles. And another thing is Craigslist just has a lot of dealerships posting their vehicles. I'll show you my screen, what I'm looking at here and what I'm talking about. Alright, so here we're looking at my screen. You can't see me talking, but this is what I'm talking about. When you get on Craigslist nowadays, you just have so many people who are dealerships just selling their vehicles. You scroll through, and it's just, you can tell straight up they've got their logo on the picture. It's just dealership after dealership after dealership, trying to get top dollar for everything. Look here, this is the first page, just scrolling through, and everything's just dealership. So Craigslist isn't my favorite place to buy cars. You can obviously find good deals anywhere. Just the same as, going over to your neighbor's house and asking him if he wants to sell his truck that's been sitting in his field for a couple of years. Good deals can be found anywhere. Craigslist is not my go-to, but if you know how to navigate it better than I do, it can be great. So here we're on Facebook Marketplace. This is my favorite place to buy vehicles. Let's go here to vehicles. And some super good deals. So like, if you wanted, you're a college student, you want just a super cheap vehicle, you can tell when things are authentic. And this is what I'm going to talk about, how not to get scammed. You can tell when things are authentic pretty easily on Facebook. This, I would say, is 100% authentic because the car's old and it's only $500. Always read the description. Yeah, he's willing to trade. It's an old beater car, so assuming it runs, might be a good deal if you're in college, And here's the biggest thing. It has a lot of pictures. And obviously on Facebook, it's easy to talk to the person and get more information on the vehicle. And you can always go look at it in person because you're typically going to be looking at vehicles close by. The biggest thing you need to worry about when there are scams, there's one that's going around right now. Okay, now this is a super popular scam I've been seeing recently. People have been listing Toyota Supras because right now everybody's crazy about Supras for some reason. Not my favorite car, but they're pretty cool. But they've been listing them as Toyota Celica's, covered in dust, buried in the back of a barn kind of thing, for a super cheap price. Usually something like right here, you see my dad left this car to me before he passed, and it's just taking up space. Don't know how to drive it, it's a manual, something to just catch your interest, like my grandpa died in this car sitting in the back of his barn, or you know, they have no relation to the car. They're pretending like they don't know what it is, and they're listing it as a Toyota Celica because Supras aren't common. So people who do know what a Supra is, they're like, oh my goodness, this is an amazing deal. And so they'll jump on this, and the person will say, well, somebody's going to come look at it right now, you know, first come, first serve. So if you wanted to send me half the money, I'll hold it for you. And so these people thinking this is the deal of a lifetime, they're wiring these people, you know, he has it listed for $2,500, either all the money or half of that, $1,250, and then the person's, you know, blocking them, disappearing, and you just lost $1,250 because you thought you're getting really good. This is a really popular scam I've seen recently. There's one other common type of scam I'll see, and we'll talk about the 3 different ways that they will try and get. We'll talk about the 3 different ways they're going to try and scam you. Okay, I'm not seeing one here. This one I kind of have noticed is starting to die off. But there's another type of scam where somebody will have a single picture of a nice looking vehicle, a Toyota Tacoma, something that's very popular, and they'll have it listed for like $2,000. And it'll just be one picture. This is always a dead giveaway. It's always one picture. You scroll to the right, there's no more available pictures. So it's every time I've seen it, been one picture. So if there's not additional pictures of the vehicle, be wary if it sounds like it's a good deal. These people will, you know, you'll message them and you'll often get an automatic reply. And this will happen on Craigslist as well. The automatic reply message is when you find a deal that looks really good, and it'll say something like, I'm serving in the military and I'm overseas. My sister-in-law has the vehicle and she'll ship it to you if you pay us the money. And so you never get to see the car in person before you pay for it. They never have more pictures of the vehicle usually. And if they do, still be careful. Don't buy a vehicle without going to look at it first. Make sure the person has the title in hand, a bill of sale when you go to buy the vehicle. You exchange the cash at the same time they give you that title over. And that's the best way to buy a vehicle. So avoid getting scammed. If it sounds like it's too good of a deal to be true, it on the internet almost always is. I found a couple of good deals. Like one time I found a Kia Sportage that was 4-wheel drive, had a 3-inch lift, was pretty cool. I ended up trading for my Jeep Wagoneer for it. But I got it for $300 because it had a vacuum leak and the person couldn't get it to pass emissions. And, well, more interesting than that, this guy's son left on a service mission for church, and before he did, he disassembled the valve cover, probably looking for that vacuum leak or something. He never put it back together, so the guy said, look, if you want it $300, it's yours. I went and put it together in his driveway and drove it home with a vacuum leak. I could tell that's what it had. He had taken off the intake manifold and gouged it. So without looking at it, I pulled the intake manifold off, replaced the gasket, put it back on. It still had a vacuum leak, so I took the intake manifold off and actually looked at it, and it was just gouged to death on the 4th cylinder. So that, sometimes, but I could go there before I bought the vehicle. I could go there and look at it, talk to the guy. I knew it was legit. And so don't pay for anything on the internet before you go and actually look at it. Scams are pretty common. They're wiring money sometimes offshores, and it's super hard to recover your money sometimes. If you had to do it, PayPal. Don't use friends and family. Use goods and services because it's refundable. Or use a protected credit card that you can do a chargeback with. But those are those common scams that you'll see. You'll see the kind, like I said, where somebody pretends like they don't know what they have, a Toyota Celica instead of a Supra. And then you'll see pictures of one picture of a nice looking vehicle for a cheap price, and they want you to wire the money to hold it, or before they can send it to you. Or you'll see the people who are serving in the military overseas, can't meet you, but if you give them the money, they'll ship the car to you. So those are the 3 most common ones. Again, use your discretion, be smart, don't pay for something unless you go and look at it, test drive it. Recently I bought a truck that I didn't even test drive. I didn't even turn it on before I bought it, but that was I don't recommend doing that. I kind of trusted the person. We had established a relationship. I went to his house and picked it up. He assured me that it was running and had a bad clutch. The battery was dead. I could have started it. I didn't. But it runs. When I got it back home, it ran. And I trusted the guy. But I would say that was not smart. I would advise that you take every precaution to ensure that what you're buying is what you're expecting to buy. Make sure that you know what you're talking about, that you know what you're looking for, or take somebody with you who does, and make sure that, do some research. Check the value. Check everything before you go, and make sure that you're not getting ripped off. So that's how to avoid being scammed. I'm Ernest. Thanks for watching the Roadside Rescue YouTube channel. If you have any tips, leave them in the comments down below. If you have any video ideas you'd like me to talk about, leave them in the comments, or shoot me an email, or send me a message to my Facebook or Instagram. If you want me to look at a picture or a video or something and talk about it, send that there. And we'll see you on the next episode. Thanks for watching. consider subscribing, and thanks for all the support, especially to the channel members. We'll see you on the next episode.